You're invited to imagine what's next. What the next view you wake up to will be. Where your next adventures will start from. Your perfect space to entertain. And your sanctuary to unwind in. As you begin to imagine your new place, we'll be here to help you find it. Because nothing compares to what's next. Sotheby'sRealty.com.
Ahead of Gandhi Jayanti, we put the spotlight on India's cleanest city, Indore in Madhya Pradesh, which has created quite a stir by bagging this title for the 6th time in a row in the Swachhta Survekshan undertaken by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. How has Indore done it? By cracking the code on one major aspect, waste collection and management. Today, we decode step by step Indore's exemplary waste and cleanliness drive to see what has been the winning formula and what can other cities learn from it. We are joined by Harshika Singh, Indore Municipal Commissioner. Harshika ji, a very warm welcome to Urban Agenda. Let me start by congratulating you and the citizens of Indore for ensuring that they don't lose that #1 ranking. You won it for 6 years in a row. Can you outline the 3 most critical components that have contributed to this remarkable achievement?
Manisha, as far as Indore is concerned and its Swachhta story is concerned, I guess it's a very special kind of model, if I may say so. Over a period of last 7 to 8 years, what has happened is that with active public participation, or Jan Bhagidari as we call it, several institutions have been put in place, which starts right with door-to-door collection of segregated waste, which is again done by the common citizenry, followed by a very dedicated pattern of waste collection to waste disposal. And there is an institutionalized structure in place. Also, at the same time, there is a very dedicated and a strategic human resource management that has been planned for carrying on this activity on a day-to-day basis. Apart from that, we actively use the technology for a continuous monitoring of this effort, which goes on from early, say 5 a.m. to night till up to 3 a.m. in the night. So it's a, I would say, a comprehensive model that has been put in place over a period of time. It has been institutionalized, and effort is put in to ensure that the continuity of this institutional structure is there.
Harshika, you credit Indore's people and citizens' participation for this achievement, but it's not easy to keep citizens motivated. I mean, they have to segregate waste not one day, but through the year again and again in not 2 categories, but 6 categories. How do you keep that going?
As we call the Indore model as a Jan Bhagidari model, basically what happens is that over a period of last 7 to 8 years and even today, we interact with the citizen on the topic of Swachhta on a daily basis. So apart from the common, I would say, Nagar Nigam or IMC intervention with the public, we have a lot of these NGOs also on board. And on a daily basis, we carry on a lot of these IEC activities, a lot of these awareness activities, and with a lot of effort, with a daily intervention into the life of a common citizen of Indore, we have been able to sustain this effort. Over a period of time, this has now become the habit of any Indori that they would not throw anything in the open. They would segregate the waste into 6 pits and give it to us for proper processing. They would in fact discourage anyone if he or she is found throwing anything or doing anything which is against the Swachhta movement. So actually, this awareness has been created over a period of time, and even now we continue it on a daily basis with continuous interaction with the citizenry, not only at the IMC level, but also at the level of the common community networks, which exist in the form of NGOs, which exist in the form of various resident welfare associations, etc., with which we interact almost on a daily basis.
There's an army of Safai karamcharis involved here, including karamcharis who work at night, and a majority of them are women. How do you keep them motivated?
Obviously, we have a very big dedicated team of Safai karamchari, without whom this entire effort and this entire mission would not have been successful. And to start with, I would suggest that there are a lot of these associations of Safai karamchari who were put on board. We, as a part of the IMC, ensured that the welfare of a Safai karamchari, not only the welfare of the Safai karamchari, but also of his or her family, is a topmost priority. So be it, educating their children, be it in terms of taking care of their health needs, taking care of their insurance, etc. All these things are taken care of by IMC. We try to reassure them that they are a part of the IMC family and not just a Safai karamchari. And over a period of time, it has become a matter of respect for them to be associated with the Swachhta ambit of IMC as a Safai karamchari. And in fact, we organize various events, like recently on one specific day when there is a special festival of the special community of people who are associated with the Safai Abhiyan. On that day, the entire city, in honor of the Safai karamchari, just come down on the streets and do the brooming. And it's not just mere shramdan, but it's actual effort on street, just in respect of it. So we keep on doing these things just to make them feel a part of this entire community and to keep them engaged with us.
Harshika, let's talk finances. Whether it's money to pay the Safai karamcharis, which many cities actually run out of, or the investment needed for infrastructure like collection vans, the waste segregation units, composting plants, most cities are struggling for money. How did you make the finances work?
Okay, so basically I would say the finance model of Indore Swachhta story is a mix of different models. Most of our big processing plants, if I may name one of them. One is our bio-CNG plant, which is one of its kind of the country, not only country, but of Asia. It's the biggest bio-CNG plant for a wet waste disposal. All of these plants that we have established has been on a PPP model. Various financing model has been put in place to ensure that a win-win situation both for the agency and for IMC happens. Also, at the same time, when we talk about how do we fuel or how do we take care of the various expenses, the recurring expenses of the Swachhta, this entire model of ours is actually a user-based model. So basically, it's not just that everything is we in IMC lightly, or sometimes we say that we follow a carrot and stick policy. So basically, if we have come up with an SOP which is there for the Swachhta, and if someone is not found obeying those rules, we then charge substantial fine on that person. And that collection, apart from the user charges in the name of Swachhta cess that we collect, all of this help us to fuel the recurring expenditure. And over a period of time, this has become a natural habit of the common citizenry of the city to pay this Swachhta cess without fail. And at the same time, if anyone is found disobeying the rules and the SOP that we have put in place, we do collect charges and fine them also. Over a period of time, we are in a level where we have been able to achieve the break-even in terms of our expenditure, in terms of the in terms of the expenditure that we incur on a day-to-day basis.
Another thing that I'm curious about, private companies like NEPRA have been involved in setting up huge waste management units in Indore. Again, private-public participation, or the PPP model that you just spoke about, has not been very successful elsewhere. In fact, private companies have shut down their waste segregation and management operations in several cities in India. What has worked for Indore?
Manisha, I think the crux of this entire thing is that the PPP model, as it was planned in our city, we were the ones who provided them with the land, and it was a clear land for which they didn't have to think about anything else. All the clearances, etc., were basically, fueled by us. All of this has helped in establishing these plants in a very short time. And the most important recurring thing that has helped it is the fact that we are the only city in the country which is sure of the segregated waste that we collect. So it's not just a mixed waste that we are collecting, it's a pure segregated waste that we are collecting, which helps to maintain the efficiency of the machinery which has been put in place there is no bare cost, any kind of additional expenditure that these plants have to incur, and it is a 365-day effort that we do. So basically, the entire waste collection and the waste transportation is being taken care of by us as part of the IMC. It is not a part of the company's profile, and we ensure that segregated waste reach them, which in turn, if the input is good, obviously the output is okay, and the model functions as it was planned initially to be.
Can I ask you what's next on your agenda to keep Indore clean and green? I mean, it has been making news on worsening air quality because of high number of private vehicles on the roads. Is that a priority for you?
Manisha, just wanted to share with you, recently there are 131 non-attainment cities, which, Ministry of Environment and Forest continuously follows up in terms of improvement and what are the efforts being taken to improve the air quality. Last month, we were declared the city with the best improvement or the cleanest air quality index award also. So that is also something there which is there in our ambit. Going ahead, I would say not the area of weakness, but what we actually aim now is that there is actually a fixed carrying capacity of any kind of processing plant that you can come up in your city. And we, as part of Indore, we are thinking of how to reduce the per capita waste. We are focusing on reusing, recycling, and reducing our waste per se, and trying to move towards a sustainable living. I think that's what Indore is looking up to now.
Public toilets and sanitation facilities. Now, these are also missing in many cities. Indore has its own flow of tourists as well. How have you addressed that issue?
So, yeah, I mean, what we have is that all our public toilets and all our community toilets, they are being actually geo-fenced. We have the data, we have a cleaning schedule for it. We have sensors installed in a public toilet that if there is a pungent smell is beyond a certain level, we get a SOS which tells us that this needs immediate cleaning, and our machinery is then shifted for its cleaning. So basically, it's a continuous monitoring process that has also been put in place for taking care of our community and public toilets, and which over a period of time has again been institutionalized as a part of a day-to-day functioning. And that helps us to, bear the pressure of the floating population that this city faces, and yet is able to keep its community and public toilets clean.
Any other tech innovations that have really worked for Indore and you think can be easily adopted by other cities of India?
Manisha, I would like to talk about the integrated command and control structure that we have in our city. It's a smart city initiative which has been put in place in the city of Indore, and with the help of this, right from door-to-door collection of the D2D vehicles, what time they have been geo-fenced, the tracks have been geo-fenced, the entire city has been geo-fenced. Location of the vehicles are being tracked on a real-time basis. Any deviation of more than say 5 minutes creates an SOS. It generates an SOS right up to the higher authority. We track it and micromanage, I would say, or monitor the efforts right from D2D to the waste disposal and processing. So that has actually helped us to monitor this entire process on a day-to-day basis from early morning till late nights.
Harshika Singh, thank you very much for joining us on the Urban Agenda, and congratulations to you once again. Coming up next on our Inspire India segment is an incredible story of Hasiru Dala, the Green Force, an NGO which is working for the upliftment of the foot soldiers who keep our cities clean, the waste pickers. Stay with us.
You're invited to imagine what's next. What the next view you wake up to will be. Where your next adventures will start from. Your perfect space to entertain. And your sanctuary to unwind in. As you begin to imagine your new place, we'll be here to help you find it. Because nothing compares to what's next. Sotheby'srealty.com